Hi, I'm Paula Proctor. I work for the Department of Planning and Growth Management with Charles County. I am here today on Serenity Farm on the shores of the Patuxent River. With me are Amanda and Laura with the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay and one of the owners, Franklin Robinson Jr. The county and the Alliance have partnered with Serenity Farm to convert a portion of their cropland into meadowland. This project is funded by the Charles County Government and Chesapeake Bay Trust Grant Program.
Hi, my name is Amanda Bland, and I'm the Maryland Projects Associate at the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. In the fall of 2019, we had a forum here at Serenity Farm to gather different environmentalists, nonprofits, and conservationists to discuss the unique habitats of Southern Maryland and some of the threats that these habitats are facing. In December of 2020, we received funding through the CBT Outreach and Restoration Grant to do two things here on the farm. One, to install 1.5 acres of meadow habitat, and the second, to have another forum in the fall of 2021 focused on discussing meadow habitat, the benefits, and how to maintain them.
My name is Franklin Robinson Jr., and I'm one of the owners of Serenity Farm here at Benedict. And we went with the Chesapeake Bay Alliance to do some meadow conversion for a few reasons. We live right here on the Patuxent River, and we are very much in love with the river. So we want to try to do things that'll help the river. And part of that is actually mitigating runoff from our farm fields, which go right up to the marsh. So we thought it was a really great way to get a nice buffer, not only for mitigation of runoff, and we do still use some herbicides and that sort of thing. So it is a buffer for that as well. And as well, it is also a place for wildlife. So we just saw it as a win-win to take out this actually very small amount of cropland and turn it back into a meadow with some trees, beautiful, useful, and the Chesapeake Bay Alliance and the county have been really good at stepping up to the plate to make all this happen.
My name is Laura Todd, and I'm the Green Infrastructure Projects Manager with Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, here today at Serenity Farm in Charles County. So if you're a landowner looking to install a meadow habitat, there's a few things to kind of consider when you're getting started. And the first is location, location, location. So when you're going to plant a meadow, really thinking about where the best spot on your property would be for it to go. So here on Serenity Farm, the meadow that we've planted is really serving as a buffer before water is traveling down from the property towards the Patuxent River. So it's kind of a long, skinnier meadow that's serving as this buffer that's catching all of the water, any fertilizers, pesticides that would be traveling down to the water otherwise. So make sure that you're keeping the location in mind when you're selecting where your meadow should go. So it's really fairly simple when you're going to install your meadow habitat. There's kind of two components. The first is prepping the site before the installation of the meadow seed, and then installing the meadow seed itself. So you'll be doing that at different points in the season, but it really comes down to those two simple steps.
Meadows have a variety of benefits. So first and foremost, they do a fantastic job of absorbing water. And one of the reasons for this is because of their deep root systems. So the native plants and vegetation and flowers that make up a native meadow, those deep roots are able to absorb water much more than, say, a traditional turf grass, which you often see on properties. And going along with that deep root system, it also allows them to have better control of erosion and to prevent lands from being eroded. So that also kind of segues into the second point of one of the benefits of meadow, and that is for water quality. So take Serenity Farm as an example. It's an agricultural farm. So as rainwater hits the property and picks up nitrogen and phosphorus and sediment, that rainwater is going to run into the Patuxent River and then into the Chesapeake Bay. When you have a meadow that is installed between the agricultural property and the nearby body of water, which is the Patuxent River, it acts as a buffer. So it's able to soak up and infiltrate that stormwater and soak up all those pollutants before that water runs into the Patuxent River. The third benefit is they provide great habitat for both native animals as well as pollinators. So that can include birds, bees, bats, and also small mammals like fox and raccoons. And those mammals need tall grasses to hide and to burrow. And The fourth benefit of meadows is that in comparison to other projects, they're a fairly cost-effective ecological enhancement technique. So here in Charles County, in the last decade, we've seen a nearly 17% increase in population growth. And that population growth can also be attributed to an increase in development, which equates to a decrease in vegetative cover. So what you can do is to take that land that's not being used and that's being vacant and install a meadow on it. And so it's an easy technique, it's a fairly cost-effective technique, it doesn't cost much money, but it's able to provide great benefits for both the landowner that owns that property, saving them money, as well as for their property and the local ecosystem that's able to benefit from that meadow being installed. One of the benefits that this specific meadow will have on Serenity Farm is to remove 6 pounds of nitrogen and over a ton of suspended sediments per year from entering the Patuxent River.
So if you're a landowner looking to install a meadow, we have the resources and are here to help you. So we've hosted a number of forums to assist landowners in the area who are interested in learning more about meadow habitat. And if you'd like to learn more or get in touch with us, please feel free to go to our website. It's www.allianceforthebay.org.
Applying for jobs with Charles County government is now easier and more efficient. Visit www.charlescountymd.gov for more information.
My name is Jarington Bazemore, and I'm Inspection Supervisor under the Planning and Growth Management Department, Codes, Permits, Inspection Services Division. And my primary disciplines are the nuisance code and the zoning ordinance. A nuisance is classified per Webster as anything that can cause disruption to anybody's livelihood or anything that could just be classified as a disruption in the normal walks of life. In this case, we're referencing on residential properties the various violations that constitute a public nuisance. For example, if a property contains tall grass and tall weeds, overgrown shrubberies and bushes, and the most obvious one of all, trash and debris throughout the property that will accumulate any types of insects or rodents. For us, Codes, Permits, Inspection Services, we focus solely on residential properties. And our job on a day-to-day basis is we receive a complaint and we will go out and verify that the complaints are valid according to our code. We have various types of violations listed, and we will check to see if the complainant's complaint is of validity or not by conducting an initial investigation. If it comes to find out that these violations and others do exist, then we'll move forward and create a case and try our best to make contact with the property owners via the methods of postal mail and posting the property with our documentation, letting the property owner know that we have observed violations, nuisance violations on their property, and that they need to address them in a timely fashion. You can file a complaint anytime when you see or you think you see a violation on a person's property. From there, we will be in receipt of the complaint, and that's when an inspector will go out to verify if it's a valid complaint or not. You will go to our website, then the Charles County website, and then you will go through the links to go through the Planning and Growth Management, and then Codes, Permits, Inspection Services. And then on that, once you get to that link, there is a report of property or structure complaint. That's which will directly come to us, and we will come out and verify that the violations exist. We are not here to have that iron fist and tell you all how to keep your property in a certain condition. But we are here to notify you when there are violations that exist that could potentially generate situations such as excessive rodents in a community or in a certain section. But in order for you to try to minimize this, we just want to let you know about your violations and give you the time that it takes to get into compliance. If additional time is needed, we have no problems working with you, and we will work with you. But as long as you show that the communication is effective and thorough, we will work with you until it gets to abatement.